Welcome to the Mantic Universe podcast for our Deadzone coverage. And I'm here again with Claudio.
Hi, hi.
And today we have, we got a mid-month teaser in the vault for new Deadzone models. So we wanted to bring this close to you and talk a little bit about them. There are Forge Fathers. There are 6 models teased for the next month in the vault, and with one being like a big secret.
hmm
3 are from previous sculpts, or 4, I have to say, and we got 2 new ones. So, Claudia, you know more than me. I have
Yes.
the suspicion that there's something special going on.
Yeah. So you already mentioned it that we have 3.5 maybe sculpts that are new, and 2 completely new sculpts, and 1 new arm option. And these Forge Warriors aren't just randomly in here for this month, but they are a new themed list, a 200-point fixed list for Deadzone, similar to the, I think, 8 ones that were released over the last, I think, years now. It's 2 years
Yeah.
ago that they were released. Okay, time flies. And finally, we get Forge Fathers. And I think that's really, really cool because they were missing. I mean, many factions are missing in that sense, but a cool elite Forge Father team is something I was really looking for. So I'm happy that
As a
we got
draft
it.
player, I don't think that anyone else is something missing, but just me. But it's like, but I like it. So I'm definitely interesting because it's like all those previous how to say pre-made teams were special teams with the unique background and name characters. So I
Yeah.
guess we have something for this here as well. So
Oh
tell
yeah.
me,
Oh yeah.
what special background does our special Forge for the team gets?
So, if you looking at pictures, you will see that we have no Brocker or something like that in there, but this is really a, a fighting force, an elite force. So we have a new leader. That's a new sculpt. I will talk about him in a bit. We have a Forge Guard with a special arm option. We have a Hammer Fist Drop Trooper with a two-handed hammer, heat hammer instead of or Forge Hammer instead of his usual combo of rifle and hammer. We have an Isilgarim, so a troop, a steel warrior with magma cannon. We have a Rekir, a steel warrior with a dragon breath option, and we have an artificer with a buzzsaw and magma rifle, and one mystery model that isn't revealed yet as of the date of recording, but we might guess which one that will be. So these 6 Forge Fathers, or 6+1, 7 in total, will be a themed list, and they will bring back some really old lore for the veterans of the first edition of Deadzone. Maybe they will remember it, probably not. So I think we will start because it's really you have to dig a bit deeper to get there, but they are connected to a character that is right now a living legend in the Forge Father list, still since first edition.
Yeah,
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think so. Because more or less from our named characters that are legends from very first time and Kickstarters, it would be the Hellfather. And
Yeah, right. We have the Hellfather from first edition still, and if you're using the
I think,
video, you will have it in front of you now. Yeah.
and how to say, this was like the very first teaser where people started thinking if we may get some evil space dwarfs or some lost clan or dark star stuff, because it has this, well, not regularly shaped armor and special weapon, and looks more evil than the regular ones. um Right, so I guess we finally get details on where he came from or what he's up to.
Yeah, a little bit at least, or maybe even more questions and more mystery. But we can connect those things. If you look closely at the Hellfather and its armor, it's clearly an inspiration for the new leader. The new leader named Yari Mal-Drez. And Yari has similar armor, but a different armor type. The Hellfather has these stilts where he's standing on the Aesir armor. Yari doesn't have that, but from the whole look and also the weaponry, uh, it's clearly the inspiration, and we will see that they are connected in the lore too.
Okay.
So the Hellfather is the name you usually use, and the name itself lends to thinking that he's maybe a bit more evil or something like that. But in his original background, it's from the old Nexus Psi book. There is a bit where he gets on the planet and is there, for his own research reasons, so to say. And I think it's a really interesting story. I quite like it, and so I'm pleased that we get a connection because we haven't heard anything from the Hailfather since Nexus Psi, which is in universe a few years ago, and out of universe also a few
A
years
few
ago,
years
like
ago, it's
maybe
about
10 or something like that.
yeah.
So
It's
it's really time that we connect to that because he can still be used on the battlefield right now.
yeah.
So I hope that this will also help bringing him and his story and maybe a few more Forgefather cultural lore bits to the forefront.
Yeah.
So if you know the Hailfather, he has a special weapon, the Xerxes heat cannon, and I'll just start and bring up these points. Yari also has a Xerxes weapon, but a pistol. So we will also see if you're looking at the sculpt from Yari, he isn't in a heavily armored suit with a big cannon, but he has a more normal looking steel warrior style armor, but with the design elements that the Hailfather also has.
I have to interrupt at this point because I have
Mhm.
some I have some questions. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
The first being because originally when we thought he got the Xerxes heat cannon, that this is something unique, like his own unique weapon
Mhm.
that got a name. Now when another one from the same clan gets also one, could we think about this being more like a pattern or a manufacturer? Like this is the Xerxes are a specific type of weapon from a certain forged star or dedicated to a certain clan in that way?
I would think so, yes, because the Hailfather is also known as, or his real name is known since the 10 years ago Nexus Psi book, and his name is Shadrach Mal-Drez. So he is from the Mal-Drez clan, or also Mal-Drez dynasty, and so he is connected to the new leader from the themed list, to Yari. They are cousins.
Yep.
So it's that the Hailfather is using, or Shadrach is using, this Xerxes cannon, which is deeply connected to him. Makes sense that Yari also has access to this technology. So it seems that these specialized magma cannons or magma technology or cannon technology is something that this clan has either researched or built, or maybe only they know how to use this technology, and they have upgraded the magma cannon. And in lore, there is also an explanation because this clan is rather rich. So even for Forgefather standards, these are really, really rich dwarfs.
So okay, so the trillionaires of Warpath.
Okay, so we are back at the bad guys. um,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, so the thinking about that the other trillionaire also at one point released such a, how to say, a sci-fi themed flamethrower that you Cohen told in one hand for just for his personal entertainment. I think this is, yeah. So I don't know
yeah.
if this was intentional or had someone had foreseen this happening, but it's
Well, as far as I know, it wasn't intentional, but I rather like that now. So there's also an explanation in the Hellfather lore why he or his clan is so rich, and this will also be reflected later in the lore and background for the themed list. And it's because the Mal-Drez clan um, have been stripping back some ore bodies from the Gombeki planets. Those are um, some, well, uninhabited, mostly uninhabited planets, and the GCPS doesn't really know where they are. So over many centuries of really in best Forgefather fashion, stripping them blank, they were, or now they are rather rich, even for Forgefather standards, and they are able to get the technology and also the people who are thinking about that and are like the best Forgefather engineers and technicians. They can pay them, and they have the resources to get whatever they
yeah,
need. So that's why you have the Shadrach with his Aesir armor that isn't produced like for everyone. You have the Xerxes weaponry, which is special to only those who are really part of the family of this dynasty, and not the whole clan has Xerxes weapons, apparently. So it's something special, and obviously it has to be something that costs a lot.
yeah.
So
So the family
only,
brand and yeah.
yeah,
I see.
exactly.
So this also mean like the when we say that the armor suits are similar, um, I just make assumption here and say this armor pattern is also then unique to the Mal-Drez clan itself, and
Yeah, I'd say so, because
hmm,
the other members, so let's say the maybe the bodyguards of Yari, so the normal but still named dwarves who are traveling with him, they use normal Forgefather tech, or normal armor and so on, and especially the pauldrons on the shoulders are the same between Yari and Shadrach. So there is a distinctive um, design feature that is unique to the family itself.
yeah,
So they are even even with their own troops, they are like standing out of the Forgefather crowd, which makes it really interesting for me because, and I think that's why the Hailfather is also one of the characters where we don't know that much, but was always one of the fan favorites, maybe because it's a bit mysterious. He looks a bit different. He has different equipment, and that's always something where you can like let your imagination flow freely.
yeah. It's yeah, definitely something. No, because I'm just thinking about because we have only the single styled models in plastic and resin,
Mhm.
and then there's the big question is if different style are they unique to a family, unique to a clan? Do forge fathers in very different pattern exists or point this
Mhm.
to something special? So yeah,
Yeah, I think
so
that's maybe open up the precedence for maybe more of this, or even if you want to customize your own Forge
yeah,
Fathers, um, this is a good idea that you get that Forge Fathers aren't all looking the same.
yeah.
I mean, there
So
are some that work closely with the GCPS, some who are completely off put by that and don't want have to do anything to do with them, like um, the Cresterson clan that are at war with the GCPS. They look the same, but they don't have to. You can have your own clan and maybe give your clan members, your leaders, a different look, something special, because here we really know, like from the official
Yeah.
lore, that this exists.
Yeah, so I think now that we actually have this in universe confirmed that certain families, certain standout clans can have such things. So this opens a lot of design space for people now to go on their pattern, because it's not like if you use a different like shoulder pads or want to go up with their how to say modeling opportunities,
Mm.
uh it's now you are really this is okay in universe. They are more diverse than we would first thought of. So it's not.
Absolutely, and I think Yari is even more special because he has a completely different style of helmet. It's, I mean, the Hellfather has already a different style, but Yari has a style that is more reminiscent of the Abyssal Dwarfs in Kings of War, with the beard and the helmet that is a bit higher. So um, it would even open up the option for doing Forge Force, where you buy the plastics from Kings of War and swap the heads around. I mean, that's a
Mm-hmm.
possibility. So if you want to go there, I think that would be a really cool looking force too. So from a even if we only get like a little lore bit here with this themed list, it opens up a bit more of yeah, I don't know, official
Yeah.
ways to customize your force as you wish.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's man, everyone is doing with their models what they want anyway, but there's it's like it's always good to have some in-universe
Yeah.
guidelines and to know, like we all know that enforcers are designed to all look the same and be identical, so they nobody can really identify a single person out of them. So to be the coherent force, and then when you have the Forge Fathers, and now we know families are different. The very rich among the rich are different, and things like that. So you can go a little bit more crazy without feeling bad or need to make stuff up on your own, because now you know it's that way of
Yeah,
or how they
exactly.
work. So yeah.
There are plenty of people who really like to have their own background, but also rooted in some in-universe explanations. So we get a little bit more here. And one thing that is really interesting and is for me is that we're talking so much about the Hailfather, and we have the Hailfather in our video the whole time right now, even if we're talking about the the new themed list, is because many lore bits from the Hailfather story are an inspiration or maybe even the roots for the new lore from the themed list. So not only the wealthy aspect or where the wealth comes from, not only the design, um, but also that in his story, it's mentioned that he changes his plan because he's such a rich a rich minor noble in the dwarf society that he always travels with his bodyguard of well-equipped and battle-hardened veterans, but he leaves them behind because he has to infiltrate next society and can't go there with his Forge Father buddies
Yeah.
protecting him. So in the story, he uses a GCPS corporation that he owns or his family owns, and he infiltrates the planet that way, so undercover, so that the GCPS don't find out. And that lore bit is the thing that inspired the background for the Mal-Drez Clanhold themed list, because in this themed list, with Yari as the leader, we get this opportunity to see that elite bodyguard, because Yari doesn't go in there with his specialized armor and cannon. He goes in there as a true noble or minor noble. He isn't really the best fighter. He is still a forge father. He's a capable and survivable and so on. But he is a leader. He's not someone who really wants to get his hands dirty. So here we have a leader and his followers who will protect him and will fight for him and are pretty good at that. So we have similarities and a big inspiration, but we changed it up so that now we really see these bodyguards.
Hmm. Interesting.
So,
So
yep.
yeah, so bodyguards. How? Okay, I mean it's a named theme with the unique thing going on. So do we get a little background for the bodyguards as well, or just the big story, or because
Mhm.
how to say, are those nameless Forge Father bodyguards, or each one got a name drop
Well,
and
I think it's a little bit of both. So we get a little bit of lore for Yari, and all those other dwarves in the themed list have names,
yeah.
and they have clear roles. So they don't get like a whole paragraph each for themselves yet. Well, let's see.
Oh,
Maybe there will be something more. But I think they each take up a distinct role in the themed list. So it,
yeah,
they get a bit of lore automatically out of that. Maybe we just look at the names and see who is in this list first, and then we can go back to the actual background of the themed list if you
yeah.
want to. So we talked about it a few times. Yari is the leader. He is the minor noble. He's a cousin to the Hellfather, and he also wears the name Mal-Drez because he is part of the family. He is part of that clan, whereas the others are also part of the clan, but not part of the family in that way.
Yeah.
We
So
have Skjaldi, as the Clanhold guard, and this is the miniature, which is the Forge guard, but has a different arm option. So the rest is the same as the plastic sculpt, but instead of the Forge hammer, he has some device on its arm. You can guess what it could be. It's
I'm so bad
Skjaldi
at
the
guessing.
Clanhold guard.
Um, I'm usually bad at guessing, but if it's a Clanhold and he's a bodyguard guard, I would
Mhm.
say some sort of shield.
Exactly, yeah, it's a shield,
Yeah,
but it doesn't look like a shield. In like not like a defender shield from the enforcers or
yeah.
something like that, but it's actually the design that is used or that we are used of from other dwarfs that use, or another dwarf, Ogan, that use shield generators that he can throw. So this is a shield generator shield, and
Hmm.
it's not only for himself, so it's not only an energy shield, but it's for his surroundings, so he can really
Hmm.
shield Yari from opponents and save his noble superior from harm. So he's really the shield guard in
Yeah.
literal way.
Li- the literal Clanhold guard as it should be. So yeah, I mean
Exactly. And
it's getting the guy with the heaviest armor and then throw a shield generator on him is, yep, sounds fitting.
yeah, it's he's really tough. He doesn't have a specified close combat weapon anymore, but maybe he can use a discharge from the shield to push push everyone away that wants to harm his lord. So
Yeah, more
for
more
this bodyguard
knockback
team,
is what we need in here.
yes. So it's really one of the ideas behind the list, obviously, that these aren't just mindless warriors going around, but they are really a trained fighting force for all. operating around Yari, who isn't the best fighter. But we have a good fighter now. We have one shield guard, and if you have a shield, you also need a hammer.
A hammer.
And that's the second new sculpt in here on the top left. That's a hammer fist drop trooper and a special one. This is Ori. And Ori changes his weaponry. He has something different. And a really, really good pose. I really love the model.
Yeah.
So
this is
if you're not watching the video,
one the one new model we get.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's completely newly sculpted, completely new pose. It's not just like the old Forge Guard with a resin upgrade, but it's the same style, but it's completely a new model. And this is
actually it's two. Yeah. So I have to tease for those listening to the podcast and not watching on YouTube, because those on YouTube now have a picture of the team in front of them. Actually, to keep the internet speech up, it's two new models, because there's a lovely, nice goblin on his feet where he's standing on. So don't get distracted. That's our two new sculpt. So it's like the first new goblin sculpt we have in a while is on the base of this new Forge Father's Hammer Fist model.
Well, the goblin is actually on the Yari model. On the new leader model.
Sorry.
But
it's because it's like we got 3 new sculpts and not just 2. We just realized that when looking at the pictures, and so
exactly, he's standing on a goblin in a perfect everyone has his or their leader rock, but he's standing on a goblin. So
the tactical goblin.
Tactical goblin, exactly. The hammer fist actually is smashing something, but we don't really know what he's smashing. But he is also a sculpted new base coming with him, and this is whereas Skjaldi is the shield of the whole bodyguard of the Clanhold. Ori is really the hammer, and he's bringing the pain. He is, if you look at him, it's like a mix of Torgarim and a Hammerfist drop trooper. Yeah. So he drops in there, and it gets nasty.
I like him. So I just thought about of printing that model out, because it's an STL release, easy to upscale and print large, just so put them on the shelf as an a nice model for the shelf to look at, or for just painting it up. Yeah, it's a nice new sculpt. So I really
it's like really dynamic. It's really dynamic, and I love him. Yeah. So we have the shield and the hammer. Those are the two closest bodyguards Yari travels with, but he has a few other specialists. Next one, I'd say those are the old sculpts. The next 3 ones, we have Nali, the Clanhold Isilgarim on the bottom left right now. So he is like a steel warrior or a veteran, and he's wielding a magma cannon. And the next one is Draupnir, the Clanhold Rekir, and he has a dragon breath, so the flamethrower equivalent from the Forge Fathers.
So 2 more or less regular guys.
More or less regular, yeah. I think we can dive a bit deeper into the rules after we have like the background done. So, but we will see they have a little twist, but they are more or less regular troopers, but more of a veterans.
Yeah.
The same goes for the last one we have here from the 6, Angrax. He's the Clanhold Artificer, and he is equipped with a buzzsaw and a magma rifle. And what one interesting thing I want just to say there is that he also has an energy shield 1 for himself, which
Mm-hmm.
shows again that these are a bit better equipped, because regular artificers don't have
Yeah.
the energy shield. But obviously, more tech, more well, money,
Yeah.
more
It's
funds.
easy.
Um,
More fun stuff that is more expensive. It's like
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That
So
you don't put on your regular troops, but as he's like in a more combat role than maybe some other artificers, he is also better
yeah.
shielded.
So those are the how to say unique stats and models. So even the regular models have a twist on them, so they're a little bit
Mhm.
better than the regular ones to make them unique. So um, we won't get so that those won't be in regular Deadzone. So not just
Mhm.
they're not an update for regular Forge Fighters. They are really their own team with unique rules or unique stats, weapons for this unique named theme.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So these are really meant to be played in this list, like many other mercenaries and so on that were released with the other themed lists. So if you want to play them in this list, and trust me, it's a really fun list.
yeah.
And it's not only these 6 models that are in there, because they also have
But
some seventh model.
some seven.
Uh,
So we have seen this in the world preview. There's no
mhm,
either there isn't a sculpt yet or they just won't don't want to show. So as of recording, I have to say.
mhm,
Might be that we already know something when this is released. So, but just from the shape from the model, this is like I have to say, from the placeholder model, this very much looks like one of the epic warpath models that we got for
mhm.
Forge Fathers. To say that this was the not the Iron Ancestor, but the
Command Iron
commanding
Ancestor. Yeah.
Iron Ancestor, with is a little bit how to say more glamour compared to the regular one. That hasn't been in 28 mil yet, and I think there was some. I mean, we asked some time ago already on the Discord, Clive, about how what's about the Forge Fathers Iron Lancaster coming to the vault or getting updates and things like that, and they said the one problem with that one is that it's too old.
Mhm.
Like it's from a time before Mantic had digital sculpts and made things in a more classic way. So there is no easy path to get him into the modern age without redoing the model itself.
Yeah.
And also the epic models aren't easy to do because they are designed for those 10 millimeter scales. So they have different level of details and proportions to make them fit better into the small scale. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Just
if
upscaling
Mantic
doesn't
would,
work.
yeah, just,
Uh,
I mean, it would work for, how to say, those out there who print with FDM, upscaling the epic models work better because less fine details will work better with the FDM printing over the resin printing, but just for a company to release a low detailed model for that
yeah.
zone wouldn't really work. So right. So it's a lot of work either way, and I mean I would appreciate if Mantic would finally put in some work to get us a new modern sculpt for the Iron Ancaster with different options and weapons. So
Yeah. Absolutely. I really like the style of the Iron Ancestors. They look
yeah,
just chunky,
yeah,
really fitting the Forge for the aesthetic.
chunky better. So small, dense with a lot of weapons. This is like the
Yeah. So the last I have a name for the last model, which we think could be this one, if we're looking at the silhouette,
yeah.
and the last name is Letjolf. Letjolf is the last Clanhold, I say, warrior, which will be in the list. I think it will be clear once this goes live, but
Yeah.
maybe not, maybe only a
Maybe
day
not.
later or
So
a
we are not
week.
sure about
So
what, when, and what Mantic is releasing. We just know
yeah,
what we know, and in that case, it might be that, well, in case this goes live and when things are already out, then people
you know
listening
what
to
we're
this
talking
can,
about.
what we are talking about. If this hasn't been revealed yet, we are all curious and guessing if we were right or not in what
Exactly.
happens to the future. So
Because I
stay
don't know
tuned.
anything. It's
And I know less. That's the other problem. It's like we have this. So the professional that we are, so we know nothing and even less.
exactly. So,
Right. So
I think we have a bit of an overview over the
yeah.
characters.
So I
Um,
think from
mhm.
the standard play style, I would say as a dwarf player, they are looking pretty straightforward. So like your usual theme or composition that you would go for, you have your two guys with, because like playing a full forge guard list isn't fun usually. So you just want to
Mhm.
take 5 heavy armored guys. You want 1 or 2 with some other guys in there to fill up the ranks. You have the artificer as a support character, and the two I call them now heavy weapon guys.
Mhm.
So it looks like a very typical elite composition with something from everything. You have the anvil, close combat, the protector, the guard, the ranged weapons with one against with the flamethrower against light armored masses. You have the magma cannon with the heavy armored uh, targets, and then the artificer as a yeah middle engineer hacker uh, in between
And also
those two. So yeah,
close combat
so
unit still. So he's really
yeah,
an all-arounder, and having everything is quite
yeah.
powerful.
So
Yeah.
I really like the team. So just from the composition, it looks cool, and I mean, obviously it looks cool because need dwarves. You can never have enough dwarves in any game. So it's like yeah, that's and but also the list looks from what it is like straightforward to play, not hard to learn, just easy to dive into. It's yeah,
Yeah,
I like it
I
as
mean,
is.
there are, I think, two two things where they are lacking a bit, and I think I can talk about it. It's by design, obviously, because themed lists, if they would have an answer to everything, wouldn't be as fun. And they have their ways to work around that. But if you look at the weaponry, you already said it, they have their ranged support weapons, but it's a bit limited overall. You have a range 6 rifle and you have a range 5 magma cannon. The rest has less range.
Mm,
So you have to really move, and we all know that Forgefathers aren't the fastest faction usually, but you really have to get in there. If you're in there, they are good fighters. Everyone actually is, because even Nali and Draupnir have an increased fight stat to 4 plus. So these are really veteran fighters, and they can go up there and they can fight if they want to, because of that. So you really have to look out for enemy snipers or things you have to fight in range, because you don't have as many answers as you usually have, and you only have 7 models, which isn't a lot. I mean, if
mm,
you're playing a Peacekeeper or Forge Guard only list, you may be used to that, but these aren't all Armor 2 solid models. There are 2 Armor 2 solid models we're seeing here. We have a mystery model, and we have the rest who are only Armor 1. So um, these are elite, but they aren't, you know, super tough as nails. So you have to be a bit careful where you want to go with them.
yeah. So
I mean, yep.
right, I think just from like want to play because it's a bodyguard list. So the obvious thing is to keep the three heavy dudes together and then spread a little bit out with the other three or four. Yeah, I think it's yeah, not easy, but straightforward to play, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean, we're already at the rules discussion point, so I think we just stick with it. Looking at Yari, I already said from the whole style and the intention behind it, he's not the fighter. So he's really more of a commanding Forge Father, which we haven't seen yet, because all our Forge Father leaders or living legends that might be more of a leader type are all really really good fighters. Most of the time they are better than their than the normal Forge Father, fighting on threes, surviving on threes, or shooting on threes. So Yari really shows us a different type. I've already mentioned he's a noble, so he has a good weapon with the Xerxes pistol, but he's only fighting and shooting on fives, still surviving on fours, but he's not a fighter. He is the one commanding. He's a good tactician, and he has a good recon value and good equipment, but we have here
Yeah.
a different Forge Father trope, and I really like this. So that that it's not just the same Huskarl who is just a bit better than everyone else. It makes sense that he then has a good bodyguard unit around him.
I mean, it's. I'm still. How to say or to phrase this? And when I say I'm a little bit overwhelmed, I just want to see the Yari as the model a little bit closer. So we just have the mid-monthly preview in here and not like the final race. So I'm really looking forward when I see this one in more details. But it's like I'm currently just thinking if you can get the style of his armor and helmet to other models as well, just to make him, you know, how to say, to customize my own lord a little bit in the same family theme, like to not just have the generic, like to not just have the special named list, but also to make my normal dwarves into the same clan.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way I would say is to really make a head swap with the Abyssal Dwarf plastics. The rest might be a bit harder because I don't think that we've seen those parts anywhere else, which makes him stand out even more.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the pauldrons on the Hellfather, but you won't chop up 10 Hellfathers for that.
Well,
And
I might, but I don't think that anyone else would too.
yeah, well, fair enough. But I think you could print him out and change maybe the weaponry, because he's a really unique. The big Xerxes pistol is a really unique thing. But if you want to do maybe another Huskarl or something like that, you could mirror him and maybe put a rifle in his hands with a bit
Yeah.
of modeling involved, obviously.
Yeah, in this case, you could still use him as Yari, but it would also double as a regular lord to a
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
So
Right.
Yari doesn't only bring his tactician 2 value with him and a bit of equipment and mediocre fighting skills, but he's also a classic grumpy dwarf. And so his special order, or a few of the veterans know them as splats, his special order for the themed list is named Grudges and Quarrels. And that's a really thematic rule, because grudges and quarrels is something you often you often think of if you're having something with dwarfs.
Yeah.
But also the rules text itself is something which is completely new for dwarfs, because dwarfs usually have their special orders that they are more resilient in a way, or are a bit better, can reroll something, can get some health back and so on. But they are one of the factions who don't have any movement related special orders. Again, by design, because they are dwarfs. And this is a special order that now includes getting a bit more movement out of them, which we already talked about it, with less range and good fighting stats, is something this list makes really effective. Makes this list really effective because of that. But you're not a Vermin player, so if you're not
too much movement.
giving 3 models a free movement or something like that. This is, you are fueled by hatred and grudges as a dwarf, so you can only use the special order if you're being attacked. So after an attack against a model, you can use the special order if you have the die for it, and if you survived, you either can stand up for free without triggering a free strike. You can move a cube towards the attacker if you got shot, or you could initiate an assault against the attacker if they were in the same cube. So you get extra actions out of it, even extra movement out of it, and but also only against or in the direction of the attacker. So if you're playing against them, you have to be careful when you shoot some dwarf, if you maybe shoot some other first, so that they maybe spend their special order on them and not on another model. So that's a fun thing, because you can either counter the fact that you have low range, or you can counter the fact that you have a low model count, because you get free actions that can be used on top of an assault die or a move die. But it's restricted to your opponent doing things. So a few mind games included in there. Do you really want to make the dwarf angry? You have to live with the consequences.
Do I want to live with them? So considering your life decisions after you meet dwarves, it's
Yeah, I mean, you can still concede, just say, okay, I know I have lost, so I don't want to anger the dwarf. And maybe we're talking about the leader and the overall style of the list and the idea behind it. Maybe we could look at the specialized operations. Again, if you know how themed lists work already, you will know that. But every themed list may choose one specialized operation, and that's after deciding which scenario will be played, but before recon rolls. So before you know who will go first, or the deployment zones, but you already know which scenario you play, so you can decide and adapt depending on the opponent, the terrain, and even the mission, which one is best for your tactics. And all 4, again, I mean, with all themed lists, give even more fluff through their rules, and they are just really fitting for this elite bodyguard unit.
So, as I say, a little bit of customization, even though it's a named list.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think this is a big point for the themed list, that you don't just have your everyday 200-point list that you just play and you can't change. Every game could feel different depending on what specialized operation you choose. And some of them are more generic, and I'm talking for most themed lists, that some are more generic, and some are more specialized depending on the mission and the opponent. And this is also the case for this one. This is, I would say there isn't a mostly generic one in here, but you have enough options that you always have something you want to choose, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's start with the shortest one, the first one here on our list, and that's punching above their size. So in true dwarfs fashion, they don't get bullied around by bigger enemies.
Yeah. So it's an interest. It's yeah. So how to say, dwarves are not short; they are compact or dense. So this is like it's fitting to have a rule that says exactly that in the face of the opponent.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have a bigger opponent in Deadzone, you usually get a size bonus, and these negate the size bonus. So if you have a size 2 or size 3 enemy running in there, they are used to fighting bigger foes because they are shorter than most. And if you know you're facing a plague list or a nameless list that has many close quarter units that are size 2 or size 3, you can really take off the edge of them because many rely on their size to get an extra die. And removing that one and that combined with really good fight stats across the board for these can make a big difference. So this is a fun one, thematic for dwarfs, like overwar. The next one is something that is even more infused with the Warpath Forgefather lore. And this specialized operation is called with Farangir on their side. And I don't know if I think that Farangir isn't as well known for the average Deadzone or Warpath or Firefight player. So maybe I can say a short bit about Farangir. Farangir is a mythological dragon and one of the most important, maybe deities in the Forgefather culture, and there is a well-known story in the Forgefather society where Farangir fought his brother, and so his brother named Murakin, and they were descendants from the great king Frakir. So all three were dragons, and Murakin betrayed Farangir, and Farangir was lost about after this betrayal, and through this betrayal some rare ores are now scattered throughout the space, and this is the ancestral iron that the Forge Fathers want to claim, and that's also their claim on the universe as a whole. So especially the extremist Forge Fathers use that to claim their rightful heir to the whole universe because their Farangir has scattered these primordial metals.
It's so using an ancient dragon myth to lay down claims on other planets, stars, and well,
always use history and myths to claim things from other people. So
it's an easy excuse, you know.
It's an easy excuse, yeah. So these have Farangir on their side, and this is also a bit because we talked about them maybe being a bit on the darker side, or maybe even being part of the Sons of the Dark Star. Apparently, they aren't part of the Mal-Drez Clanhold, aren't part of the usual Forge Fathers because they are a bit more secretive, but they still are on Farangir's side. The Sons of the Dark Star, they worship Murakin and they live in black holes. Maybe there is a connection. Maybe there will be some connection in the lore. I don't know. We will have to see. But this seems to be yet another claim to this story, and I'm really hoping we get more about the Sons of the Darkstar,
Yeah, well,
Murakin, Farangia, because it's really intriguing.
could be. So, yeah, well, do we wish for a novel, or might this be something that we see with later? Because there was an announcement for that we get more Warpath universe stuff later on this year
Mm.
already. So, well,
Well,
do we
I'm
think
hoping for
there's a
everything, to be honest.
chance? Yeah, it's
Well, I think
let's see.
a second source book would be also something really nice, because the first source book is quite old right now.
Mm,
And things happened, new factions came in, and so on. And the old source book is also where this story with Farangia and Murakin came from. So it's the groundwork for like the mythology and the culture. And I would love to have a bit more. And I mean, we have Kings of War, dwarf novels. I would love a Forgefather novel. And I mean, from the perspective of a Forgefather clan, maybe interacting with the GCPS, where we get to know the GCPS a bit better, some corporations, where we could see the interaction maybe with some of the clans that are more secretive, like the Mal-Drez in this case. We could see the interaction, maybe even conflict with the Sons of the Darkstar. There are so many options there. We could see interaction with Asterians, because, you know, many possibilities. We have a short story or some short stories with dwarves as the main characters. And while everyone knows what the dwarf tropes are, so if you're just going to play Forge Fathers in Warpath, you just go for, yeah, I mean, I do dwarf things, and that should feel right. The Forge Fathers have some points in there that make them unique, even if they are dwarfs.
yeah.
And that's why I want to have more. That you don't always just go on the usual tropes, even
Yeah.
if they are used, obviously, because Forge Fathers are old, they are grumpy, they like wealth,
Yeah, I mean it's
and so on.
they being classic space dwarfs. So this is like we
Yeah.
have
Uh,
Asterians are space elves, we have the space humans, we have the space orcs. They are like the classic factions that you know from
yeah,
all RPGs, from all the games. So this is like
and
we
and
also have some
they have,
very unique ones
yeah, true.
as well. So but getting like uh, classic dwarfs but with a twist isn't the worst thing to do to get
No,
people
no, no,
like
no, no.
into.
I think
So
it's really important to have some of these factions being easy to understand how they work, but it's also important that they don't stay vanilla. I mean, the
yeah,
Marauders are the best example for really interesting space orcs, um, and also the Asterians aren't just space elves. They are there's much more behind them, and I think the Forge Fathers could really use a bit more going on for them. And that's why I'm happy that we have the chance here with the Mal-Drez Clanhold to see a different side, to get a bit more lore, even if it's just a little
yeah,
snippet, but it opens up more things, and that's for me a big thing.
yeah. So in the worst case, we need to how to bully someone into writing a novel about the Dark
Yeah,
Star.
yeah. Just
It's
bullying works.
dear
Oh, no.
listener, if
Uh,
you want to have something like that, please write Mantic. Leave a
yeah.
comment in here. Write Winged Hussars. Get them into writing a dedicated Dark Star novel. We need one.
Yeah,
It's
and by the Warpath novels we already have, and short story collections, because they are great. They add so much,
yeah,
and if they see that there is some interest there, we can all just win with that. And I think going back to the themed list, that's also something I really like about the themed list. Not only that we get some new mechanics and some new unique units, but it enriches the lore and the feeling that you're playing in a specific universe. That's
yeah.
something which I, as a person who really loves lore, really enjoys about these additions to the game. Okay, we
Absolutely.
were at the second
So we are
specialized
drifting
operation.
off. So completely professional as we are, we stayed on topic, fully focused, not drifting away. If anything, like the
Down the dragon
perfect
hole.
map quality as you know it, as usual. But at least in this case, we have an excuse that we are both sitting at a high temperature in our rooms at the moment.
Exactly.
It's
It's
so
hot.
it's hot. We have excuses at least this
Do
time.
we have Farang gear on our side? Are we really heat resistant? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, so this perfect segue right now, because with Farang gear on the side, the Mal-Drez Clanhold um, has some staying power against it burns effects. So they can, when they are surviving against the fire rolls from the it burn effects, they may reroll one die when surviving. So if you are fighting an opponent who uses many it burns weapons, you could choose this one to be more resilient against them. And even if not, you may always reroll one of these it burns die per round when a friendly model triggered the it burns effect. So when an opponent, an enemy model, has to roll the fire effect when activating, you may choose to say, okay, I want to reroll one of those fire dice, which can be quite detrimental because if you're fighting a Strider, for example, and you have a few it burns weapons in this list, 3 actually, you can then have, and you maybe roll only 1 or 2 successes on the 4-up roll. You may reroll 1, and against something like a Strider that survives on 5 ups, you can take it out for a round. And this can be, against the right opponents, can be quite powerful if you choose the right timing for the reroll each round, or if
Yeah.
the opponent has really a few it burns weapons where you're just too too dwarfy to to just get burned. You're just heat resistant.
So,
Not like us Europeans
yeah,
right now.
no,
Yeah.
not like us, but it's like too dwarfy. It's like too
Yeah.
you are too dense to be affected by heat.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's also a good segue for the next specialized operation to being too dwarfy. We've already heard that the Gombiki stars are maybe not the most hospitable stars, which is good for getting the minerals out of them, but also the conditions aren't the best. And this specialized operation is maybe the most niche one that you won't take maybe as often, but in the right circumstances, it can be quite powerful and it's extremely fluffy. So this one negates or gives you rerolls when you suffer damage or when your models suffer damage through mission effects, interactive scenery, environmental effects, falling, walls, or traps. So you may reroll any number of survive rolls, and you may ignore toxic keywords from attacks that are gained through these effects. So if you're fighting in a toxic smoke from a mission, you may ignore the toxic. If you're falling down somewhere because of a knockback effect, you may ignore that. If you have some environmental effects like plants or maybe interactive scenery like barrels, you're better at surviving against them. And so this is obviously niche because you need to have those things, or you need to have an opponent that has many knockback effects, maybe, or traps. But in those cases, rerolling survive dice can be quite a big boon. And again, it's one of the dwarf tropes that they are maybe immune or partially immune against poison, or are
Yeah,
used to
resilient.
they are resilient. They are used to working in the mines, and they are used to working in environments that maybe humans wouldn't survive. And this is reflected in this adapted to hazards specialized operation.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So your special operation, your special hazard dwarf team. So, um, yeah, now I just got the idea to how to say, get this black and yellow stripes on the shoulder pads for them. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
special hazard dwarfs.
they have the equipment. Maybe it's not only maybe their physique, but they maybe have also the equipment to survive those environments because they are an elite bodyguard unit. So you could totally do these yellow and black hazard dwarf stripes.
Yeah.
And the last specialized operation is also something that is taken out of the lore of the Mal-Drez this time, also a bit of the Dwarven all around, because this one is about the riches of the Gombiki. So of these special stars that made them as rich. And in this, if you choose this specialized operations, you get riches counters for your models. And those riches counters count as or tokens count as victory points and are treated as items. So you gain these victory points as long as you are carrying them, and lose the item and the victory points if your model is taken out. The twist is that as they are items, they can then be picked up again by your models or even your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So these riches can be taken. They are beneficial as long as you are in control, but could be taken up by the enemy. And then you might lose because your riches are being taken away.
So
So
some risk reward.
some risk reward, and there are probably some lists where it's better to take it if you're up against Veermen that swarm you in round one and can take up those items because they aren't beasts, then it's probably not the best to take this one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are fighting against someone who has many beast units or maybe more of a shooting strike team, um, so that they aren't able to pick up the dropped riches the moment
Yeah.
you are killed, that might be better. So it's still a risk reward thing with a big reward because getting victory points for nothing,
It's always
really,
good.
is always good. Yes,
Yeah.
but it's not guaranteed that you will be able to keep them. So you maybe have to keep that in mind when playing the mission, that you have to be a bit more careful. And as we already said, the same this themed list wants to or has to go up in shorter range or mid range to get the best out of them. So you can't just
Mm.
stay hidden in the back and shoot. So you have to be careful if you want to take this one, but the reward can be great.
Yeah. So how to say? Very back to my first point. They are straightforward to play, but not easy. So you have to think a little bit ahead what you're doing, what you want for them, and then you have those risk reward, the more straightforward options for the special operations, and the more risk reward, so the more advanced, not as easy to play or to choose
Mhm.
some. Yep, like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it a
and I
lot.
think
So this is like,
yeah, I think these themed lists aren't the best for beginners because of many special keywords of the specialized operations and so on. On the one hand, on the other hand, you have a fixed list and you can just see what you like, what specialized operation you want to take. But there are some like these risk reward things, where as a new player you might feel the risk part a bit more than the reward part.
yeah.
But having every model being an armored dwarf really helps staying alive. And we already heard that Scialdi has a shield generator built in there that counts for the whole cube, also for enemies, but he can overcharge the shield to knock them out of the cube. Um, but also for your own models, so you can really shield them from harm, which is great.
Yeah. And yeah, well, Um, so we expect them to hit somewhere at the beginning of July, because it's like the
Hmm.
vault is teased for the next month, July. So I guess the rules will be out once the models are officially available, and
Yeah,
not just
so
they're
that
up
might
for
be
pre-order. Yeah,
the same time this video drops, maybe a little bit later.
yeah.
If this video
So
drops when the rules are out, you will have
yeah,
probably
people
looked at
will
them.
already know, so they can get
Yeah,
a first-hand and review about what's all up with that one in here. If this video drops a little bit earlier, uh, be teased and look out
yeah, yeah.
on the companion and the vault for those models to be out there and get them in. So for those, I think the list could also be a little bit improvised with your standard models, like if someone doesn't have a printer or doesn't want to wait to play them, so they are unique sculpts but not really unique
Hmm.
models, so you can like improvise with your existing Forge Father collections to play that theme, or
Yeah,
start
exactly.
converting them. Just get like Claudio already said, the Kings of War Abyssal Dwarf. A small box would offer some nice bits to convert a more Dark Star themed, Hellfather themed list. You can also get the Hellfather like 10 times, knock off the helmet and the shoulder pads to turn regular dwarves into your specialist. Um, right,
Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
think
so
if you want to kit bash a bit, you could easily kit bash these. I mean, I've played with and against them already with proxies, and it was easily recognizable which is which. But if you want to maybe put some Thorgrim arms on a Forge Guard, which maybe is a bit hard because of the Forge Guard poses, but if you want to make them your own, it's easily doable. But
yeah.
personally, I think especially the new guards are great,
Yeah,
and
so they're
and
definitely worth getting just for the new sculpt in my
yeah.
opinion as well. So man, good 12 player. What do I say? It's like it's just getting them for what they are is really nice. But if someone just it doesn't feel or doesn't is able to print or doesn't know someone who to print, it's always the questions: how do I want to play this special teams, but I can't get any my hands on a model, so I don't have someone to print. So in this case, it's really like, so they are the unique poses, but they're still regular models, so you can get away with building your own from the plastics and resin
Yeah,
models to a point.
yeah. So maybe
Which
to
isn't bad actually. So it's just not appreciating that Mantic is doing new sculpts, but accessibility is a
mhm.
big op or a big question in general with those games. And this, if you have this special team and you can improvise and kit bash around, it gets more fun and more easy accessible, so people can really use them and jump right in.
Yeah, maybe you
Um,
can test them out, and if you like them, there is there
you
is an
buy them.
option for
Yeah,
print on demand and so on. So it's something where you see, oh yeah, I like how they play and so on, and I want the official scouts. That's also a
yeah.
way, just play around a bit.
It's a good way to do it that way.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
think we're nearly through it. I would say we would maybe round it up with like a last lore thing, if you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
Tell
because
us
we,
everything you are able to tell. It's
I think we mixed, and that was a bit by intention. We mixed the rules and the lore thing up, and like made it a melting pot from a
yeah,
Forge Father Forge, in this episode, because it's just so intertwined that it just made sense to talk about both. And I think with the themed list, especially, both parts are something that are a drawing point. And
yeah,
so we know that these are hardened veterans. We know that the Hailfather was the starting point for this team, but their motivation is maybe not not as clear as it might be right now, because also of some mystery. So the Hailfather hasn't returned to his clan. He was, or he is, a minor noble from the Mal-Drez clan, but hasn't returned since Nexus Psi. And we know that he's been fighting maybe on many battlefields because he's available as a model and with rules. So we uh, can think about that in universe. He's come around a bit, but he hasn't returned to his clan. So now Yari, as his cousin, is determined to find out what happened, why he isn't returned, why he hasn't returned, why he is still maybe searching for something, or whatever happened on Nexus Psi there that might be the motivation for the Hailfather to travel the galaxy. So that's why Yari summoned his bodyguards and these fine warriors, and is now traveling around in a Sigrun dropship, in a modified Sigrun dropship. You might know them from Epic Warpath. They were introduced there, and so they don't travel around with a really big ship with hundreds of thousands of warriors. They are infiltrating the sites, but Yari isn't doing it alone, not like the Hailfather. So they aren't traveling in a warship. They're infiltrating sites, and if they have to fight, they can then use the drop armor from, let's say, Ori, to get the edge. So keeping a low profile, Skjaldi guarding Yari, and then if things go south or if the resistance is too great, they have some aces up their sleeves. One of them being Ori that can drop into the hot zone. And this way, for me, it's really cool because they are even less models on the scouting around, infiltrating the sites, going there, chasing information, but then can reinforce themselves from low orbit, from their Sigrun dropship. And I like the idea. So they are traveling around alone, but they are prepared for everything because they know their numbers are limited. They have to have the best tech. They have to have the best skilled warriors, and they have to have answers if things go south. And maybe we will find out what happened to the Hailfather. I mean, we know the backstory to Nexus Psi, what happened there, one of the biggest plague outbreaks, many factions involved. If you want to know a little bit more about Nexus Psi, we did an episode on MUP already. So
going back, that like
go back
Deadzone
there.
is out for a long time now, so we have done
Oh,
episodes
yeah.
for a long time now. So there's something in the past that we have covered it already. So just dear
Yeah.
listener, if you just joined recently in and want to dig out a little bit of the past and Deadzone history, just look at our older episodes and the lower episodes. We definitely will get some new ones in there as soon as new things drop.
Yes.
And as this is, it's not a year of how to say, it wasn't announced as the year of sci-fi, but I think the
But
third
I think,
quarter of sci-fi.
yeah, the fall of
The fall
sci-fi.
of sci-fi. Yeah. Yeah, so there should be something bigger coming later this year in autumn, because now we have just the Kings of War release of Fracture is in there around now, so this month, and I expect that the big Warpath Universe update is coming then in some months after, so that now parallel releases are there, and of course we are going to cover this as well. And so if there's any questions you have or things you might want to know, just leave a comment. Tell us what you think about having more dwarves in space and special forge fathers, if this is good or bad for you. And well, leave a
Yeah.
comment on Spotify, on Facebook, and let's see
Join the
what's
Discord,
coming up.
leave some comments there,
Yeah.
talk about it. And if you like this format, I mean, this is the first themed list outside of the big release 2 years ago, where I think the first 4 themed lists were released each month, and then
Yeah.
as a My Mini Factory campaign, the 4 others were released in August after that. This is the first time we got a new one in quite some time. And that was the incentive for us to say, hey, let's talk about it, both from a lore and also a bit of a gameplay perspective, more about the tactics and so on, not going in depth with the profiles. But if you like this format, let us know. I mean, there are 8 other ones already released. We could go back there. There are some with some unique characters, some more intricate backstories around Star Saga, maybe, and so on. So enough to talk. If you like this, if you find it interesting, please let us know, and we
Yeah.
can think about if we're doing some of the older ones, or maybe if you like it, which of the older ones first. So yeah,
Or maybe some new ones. So if anyone has wishes, ideas, or what you really want to like to see in that zone, just let
yeah,
us know.
exactly. Which
And
themed list would you like to appear now that we have um, quite the variety,
yeah.
and also this new one was made possible because of the My Mini Factory campaign and um, the plastics, so the units on plastic sprues being available in digital, made this possible. So who knows what
Mm.
else Mantic has in store for us, or would like
I mean, the
to
other
have.
possibility I would like to see, I mean, that's now just from my personal wish list,
Hmm.
is when we got, because we know there will be a nameless release in plastic
Hmm.
somewhere around this year. So it would be kind of nice to have a theme list going together with that one for the nameless,
Hmm.
so that we not just get the generic plastics, but also get a lore team with a
Hmm.
certain theme, so that we get not just the the nameless, but actually some nameless with names to
Yeah,
to
fair
fit into
enough.
that.
I mean,
So this,
we already have a nameless themed list, the
yeah,
Scourge of Argolis. But yeah, more lore, more different, really characters,
yeah.
because the Scourge of Argolis has more mm,
And I say they're more on the
generic
monster side.
units. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I see that point. New releases coupled with themed lists. I mean,
Yeah,
I love themed lists, so
yeah.
I'm always up
Obviously,
for more
it's
ones.
good, but this could be a nice addition for further releases as well. So right,
Yeah,
so
I want a Z, a complete themed
yeah.
list only with Zs, and with Zs
I
sitting on
mean,
top
come
of
on.
each other,
We
and
have so
weapon teams
many.
with 7 Zs.
Yeah, they are like how to say this. So many old factions that we haven't touched in a while. There are all those people's races from Dreadball that could be just not
Yeah,
enough that we make a full faction for that zone, but they could fit
exactly.
right into a theme list. And
I think Dreadball is such a boon for the Warpath universe with the
yeah,
diverse species and so on. Um, Going there and looking at some of them, and maybe releasing a themed list would be great, because as you said, you can't make like 10 new Deadzone factions and follow up in Firefight and so on. But making maybe a themed list people want could be nice.
yeah,
So again, be active. Tell Mantic that you really really like faction 1 or 2 or A
yeah.
or Z or whatever, um, or the species or whatever, just
Yeah.
so that we
Just
all see.
don't wait for it. Just get active. Tell everyone what you want to know, what you want to have, what you want to see, which races, which factions, which old models that haven't been touched in a while should get a new name and a theme release. And tell us here. Tell us Mantic. Leave comments. Interact on, say, not all social media, but on those that you feel comfortable with. We have
Uh,
still the subreddit going on for that zone, which is not as active as Facebook, but still it's there, easy to join.
yeah.
Leave your wish list there, and well,
And
so
also tell us what you if you played this list, at some point what you think about it.
Yeah, obviously.
Because
So,
I
but
think
if,
it's really
if this
cool.
episode is out after the list is live, you can already leave a comment in how it plays, if you enjoyed it or not. And if the list comes a little bit later, just come back to the episode and leave a comment afterward. And
Just listen to it 2 or 3 times. It's okay.
it's no problem. So, okay. So being right 1.5 hour almost in there, I guess I call it a day, or I call it a hot day. And
Yeah.
so, dear listener, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And wherever you're listening, I wish you a good morning, day, or night. And goodbye.
And hopefully Farang gear is also on your side. That had to be a bit cringe, but okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.